Is Sora from OpenAI, I call her Sora the Explorer, is she about to come after your job? I think that she is going to be the best thing possible that could have happened to your career if you're holding any kind of a camera, video camera, obviously, because that's text to video, but also everything else OpenAI is doing. And then I'm also going to say, yes, Sora is going to kill a few jobs. And I'm going to address the 3 types of careers that's going to end because of everything that artificial intelligence is doing right now. But I would like to also teach you in this video 3 things that I'm going to be doing in my career to make sure that I am ready and I'm going to be thriving in an AI world. I'm going to tell you the 3 different types of people, like I already said, that I think they are in deep trouble. We'll talk about technology, but the first thing that I want to do is I want to address, I would say, bad faith actors in our own community that are making videos that are designed to just scare you and to make you feel hopeless and make you feel like roadkill on an AI highway. And my whole goal of this, I'm going to follow AI and how it's going to affect our careers, but the goal of it is going to be how to empower you and how to maneuver around it versus how to scare you and make you feel like it's game over, our day has come. But AI is going to change the world as it already has. So the people that are doing that to scare you, they don't really necessarily care about you. They care about their engagement and their own channel growth. That's not the kind of company I want to entertain, so I wanted to rush and make another video. I just finished recording a bunch of podcasts for my upcoming podcast right here. Creative Caffeine probably is not going to be the final cover, but that is the name, Creative Caffeine with Walid Azami. I also want to introduce you to the audience today. I am beta sitting, how pretty he is, for my neighbor. What she doesn't know is that she's probably not going to get this fish back because over the past 24 hours we've bonded. And I'll just buy another one for her. He's living here now. All right, so let's go into technology as a whole. When I first picked up a camera, there were people, this beautiful camera right here, there were people that were, oh, Walid, what you're doing is not real art. I mean, I did film. You've all heard these people. Film, this sucks. This is not art. This is stupid. Budgets are falling. You guys are ruining everything. Move over so I can step in and take your job. So I started in a digital world, and now I'm moving a little bit backwards and doing some analog. But I'm sensing another world like that where people are like, oh my God, it's AI and this sucks and the sky is falling. Don't. You could either choose to believe that, or you can say, yeah, but that's going to be your narrative. That's not your narrative right there. Keep in mind that technology is always going to be changing. Technology is always going to be killing careers, but it also will always be developing new careers that you could easily jump into, or a hybrid of what you're doing now and what you'll be doing in the future. Don't let change scare you. Use AI to move your business faster, but do the work yourself. It has to contain a sense of who you are. And that brings me to the very first point, the 3 things that I'm going to be doing for my business. So my work contains humanity, and I'm going to double down on that. And it's NI, natural intelligence, or HI, human intelligence, but it is not artificial intelligence, although I will use AI to make things move faster in the business sense. The first thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that your work, whether it's videos or photos, has that secret sauce ingredient. That only, by the way, you have that secret sauce, and I could never in my wildest dreams have the same sauce that you have. The reason why is you've walked in a different pair of shoes than I have. You've lived a different life than I have. And even scientifically, you have different fingerprints than I have. That's why all the governments in the world rely on fingerprints, because we are also uniquely different. And nobody at any point is going to be hiring you for the camera that you have, despite what people might make you feel or what the camera industry might make you feel. What you have is enough. Who you are is enough. People are going to be hiring you for you and how you see the world, how you process things, and they're going to be hiring you for opinions. Speaking of opinions, this goes with the first thing. Please don't make work if it doesn't stand for something. Make sure that your work has a sense of who you are and do it with love. If you don't do work with love beyond 2024, we're going to be able to tell. I can tell if your work is done with love, or the love for fame, or the love for the engagement and the algorithm. It's very easy. Just like I can tell a microwave meal from one prepared by a chef. So I would like for you to put your love into your work. If you don't love your work, then please sell your cameras and move over and let somebody else in line come up and do your career for you. I would like for you to not sell your camera and to actually fight for your future that you deserve. But if you're like, oh God, I'm just doing this for the engagement, those days, the clock is ticking, the day is here that it's just not going to work out for you anymore. I do on my podcast, Creative Caffeine, which will be right here, and it's caffeine for your creative business. I give free coaching sessions for photographers and videographers and other visual artists. That's my contribution back to the community. I just did a session with somebody named Dan, very talented, but boy, was he messing up a lot of marketing himself out there. And Dan was putting the most boring, vague, just processed lines under like caption, like something that you think was a deep quote, but it really said nothing. And I was like, why, Dan? Why would you not put why you took this picture, who they were, how you met them, why'd you pick that location, why this pose, why this lighting, why are you creating this image? I want to know about the artist. I want to know about the subject. Why are you hiding the artist behind the curtain? And I notice a lot of people are doing this. They put some quote by Marilyn Monroe that she never even said, or they make something up. Write about your work. Tell me why you shot there. Tell me why you used that lens. Tell me what it is about this person you love or what intrigued you. Tell me about that. And that's going to sell your work without you ever having to sell, because people are going to start falling in love with the artist, because that's what you are. And up until even a handful of years ago, there was a lot of art being created, but now we're just making highly processed content, images, bullshit. Because we're chasing the algorithm versus making art. Real art is supposed to make people move. And that actually reminds me of like when I was escaping Afghanistan and we were going to war with Russia at the time. There are two different peoples in my experience that go to prison first whenever a nation is invaded. And this happens to any nation around the world. The first thing that they do is they jail the intellectuals because they are a big brain and they have a lot of information. The second people, I think, are the most dangerous people, and those are the artists. And the artists always are sent off to prison because it's the artists that move people. It's the artists that get people to rise up. It's the artists that sing beautifully, paint beautifully, that capture beautiful photos, that write beautiful poetry. And they get people to rise up against the enemy. So what they do is they make sure they take the artists and they put them in a prison cell. So I say that because I want you to know your power. I'm not going to sit here and tell you about Sora and saying, oh God, it's over for us. But I'm not going to sit here and try to scare you. I'm going to sit here and try to empower you and remind you of your power. We are the storytellers. So if you're not storytelling in your captions, then you've wasted an opportunity, all your opportunity. I will hire you though for your opinions. I will hire you for the way you see the world, and the way you see the world and your opinions are based off of the life that you've led up until this point, which is not something that I could do. You are uniquely different, and that's a beautiful thing. And then the third thing is everything has to come with soul, and you're going to ask yourself consistently. You see a little tiny bit of it, but that is Usher at the Bellagio Hotel in Las Vegas. And this was about 3 a.m, New Year's Eve one day when I was his personal photographer. And we're just shooting a bunch of stuff. And even in the midst of that, I remember looking at the back of my camera as he's smoking and admiring himself in this big mirror, as superstars do. And I was thinking, would I frame this? Would I put this in my home? And if I wasn't, then what am I going to do? I'm going to move here. I'm going to move there. I'm going to change a lens. I'm going to suggest something differently. I now shoot, and I've actually always shot from my soul. I don't shoot from my eyes. My eyes just check to see if the lighting is okay, if the composition is okay. My finger just pushes a button, but I shoot from my soul. And if it doesn't feel right, then I don't do it and I change something up. And I look at it, I'm like, there's something not special about that. I want you to start shooting from your soul because AI does not have a soul. Artificial intelligence is merely a photocopy of who you are, trying to be that. It's important that you recognize your power and not listen to the people who are there to scare you, not because they want you to benefit, but because they want their channel to grow. Those are the 3 key components that I'm going to be incorporating in my work. But now let's talk about how AI is going to affect all of us, because it will have a big effect on us. And there are going to be some job funerals. So I would like to say the three that I think are in deep trouble. Number one, and I guess in no particular order, if you do stock videos, I'm sorry, I think it's going to be very difficult for you to survive. But if you do real estate videography, you should be okay, because I cannot have AI create the home that you need to film. You're going to be okay, but still raise that bar up a little bit. Wedding videographers, you guys are good, because I don't want to remember what Sora the Explorer tells me to remember in a make-believe world. I want to know what exactly happened. So you're going to be fine too. But the people who did like drone photography and has this beautiful shot of, like, let's say perhaps Laguna Beach, you are in trouble, because look on screen, this was done by Sora. That is scary. And this AI is not perfect yet, the first iteration. But as of right now, I think that if you do stock videography, I would look and see if I could branch out right now before it really is implemented in a heavier way, and see if you can learn a second skill, add that to something else, and just offer a new product in your business before the market forces you out. The second one also makes me profoundly sad, but the third one puts a smile on my face, and I'm like, bye-bye. Won't miss ya. So the second one is product photography, unfortunately. Just because products don't really have a soul, you don't need to pull out this amazing emotion out of them. And now you can do this with AI very, very easily. Number one is like stock videos. Number two is product photography. And the third one that brings me great joy to see them go. It is the fame seekers. It's the algorithm girlies. It's the engagement fanboys. Those were people that were not real artists. Those were just people that were fame seekers, and they wanted to just get free products and just walk around as the new celebrity. No one's really going to miss them. They were copycats. They were the people that all their work was the same on the Explore page. Those are people that cheated. They didn't really care to learn about lighting or composition or working with talent. Those people, they never made art to move people. They made images, microwavable type of images, just to spur the engagement. It was about them all the time. A real artist, it is hardly ever about them. It comes from them, but it's about you, it's about the world and how you're going to change this world. We are not the same. So those people, their days are greatly numbered. For them, they never made anything that contained humanity. It contained strategy. And while a piece of that is okay with humanity, strategy alone is cold, it's calculated, it's not art. Speaking of not being art is, now, who am I to say what is art and what is not? But if you remember, there's a very famous Flatiron Building black and white canvas that IKEA sold. There is not a dorm room on this planet that doesn't have that up on one of its walls, or a bachelor pad. When I see it, I know that's IKEA. Now, it's a good photo, but it's been cheapened because it's available everywhere, because it was affordable. There was always cheap, available imagery, always before AI. But there was a lane for them, and there was a lane for the artist. There was people that can afford that and appreciate that, and then at a different stage in their life, they evolve from that and they go to something else. There is going to be a lane for cheap work, which is from AI, maybe $20 a month to get the subscription. And then there's going to be a lane for the artists that you're going to charge in the thousands. And there's only one of you. And you cannot just develop your work through like a few key clicks and it's done for $20 a month. There's going to be a world where both can survive. There's going to be cheap images and there's going to be art. You're going to be the art, and you're not going to let what happens in the cheap image land scare you. The people who pay a lot of money are going to pay a lot of money, especially as AI becomes more and more affordable and available to the masses. The people with a lot of money do not want that. They want to run away from that as much as possible. They want something that is unique, something that is rare, and something that's very limited. That would be you, my friend. Do not forget your power. Do not forget how desirable you are. So this is another reason to raise your prices. And again, all the algorithm girlies and all the engagement fanboys, your days are numbered. But I don't really think anyone's going to miss you too much, because you were cluttering this world, while the real artists were trying to make things and put food on their table at the same time. So having said that, I want you to understand that the future still belongs to you, that you need to bank on your natural intelligence. Forget about artificial intelligence. There is a lane for that. I just want you to know your power. Don't let these people scare you. Instead of investing more in gear, in cameras, etc., invest in yourself through time. Invest in the person holding that camera or paintbrush or makeup brush, etc. So I wanted to make sure that I created a video that showed you a whole different perspective on Sora and AI, etc. You have a choice. You can let the naysayers and the doomsday preachers bring you down, and again, you will be roadkill on that AI highway. Or you can just take a different turn, run down your own highway, and you're going to be just fine. If you want to learn more from me, you know what the subscribe button is. If you have comments, anything, put those down there too. I hope this changed your mind. I hope this made you recognize your value. Thank you so much. We did good, beta. I think that scares it. Okay.